Hello everyone, Mr. Settles here. I want to take a few minutes and show you how we can do some work in GeoGebra as we are asked to do in Activity 2.1 building blocks of our design and modeling unit. I have already opened up GeoGebra here and created a new file, and we're going to use that file to go through part of the steps that are outlined for us in Activity 2.1 and show you how we can use some of the GeoGebra tools. So when I look at the activity, I'm in part 4, and I am actually at this point at steps 19 and 20. 19 asks us to create a new file, which I have done. Step 20 goes through about 8 or 9 of the tools that are in GeoGebra so that we can get used to working with them. So I'm going to just step right through that series of tasks that's outlined for us so we can take a look at how these tools work. So in step 20, it asks us on the graphic style bar, which is right here. I want to be sure that I've clicked the down arrow right there so I can see the style bar, but it asks us to click the second tool from the left to show the grid. So we can see that at that point. That's going to help me locate several of my points. B, they're actually asking me to use the point tool, which is here, to locate a couple of points. One of these is at 8 on the x-axis, 3 on the y-axis, and the other one is at 10, 5. So I can locate those 2 points. Very easily put them in place just by clicking at those 2 points. Notice in the algebra window, we're getting information about those points recorded here. Our next task asks us to draw a line between those two. So I am going to just choose the line tool. I could choose segment, but I'm going to do a line and just select A, and then we can pivot this around, bring it to B, and we have just put in that line, and GeoGebra wants us then to apply that. And it didn't take that, so something's a little funny. Let's try that again. That line, and this time let me say okay, and it took that. So we've got that in place there at that point. And now it asks us to do a perpendicular line to this one. So with the perpendicular line tool, if I click somewhere on this line, it's wanting to act a little funny again. Let me select that line. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting that going through there perpendicular. Now I can slide the line up and down through there and kind of position it wherever I want. I generally like to come in between A and B somewhere and lock that in. You can see at that point it gave us a third point, C, that shows the intersection between those two lines. So just that easily I can start with one line and then create one that's perpendicular to it or at 90 degrees. At this point, GeoGebra is asking me to draw a square with 4 vertices. I generally choose the polygon tool to do that. It asks us to begin at 5, 0. I'll start that polygon there. This line running through here at this point makes it work a little funny sometimes. So there's that. And then my next point is at 5, 5. And the tool seems to be working a little bit funny here. Let me start that again. And then if that's locating right, I come to 0, 5, lock that in, and then at 0, 0, and finish up back where I started. And I should have a closed shape at that point, which is pretty neat. See, mine is not quite a square. I believe D kind of did not hit the point exactly, but it at least will illustrate what's going on here and what you need to create on yours. We're asked next to change the color and the opacity of that polygon that we created right there. So by clicking inside the closed shape there, I get an extra set of tools. I can go to the color tool at this point and then change that. Maybe I'd like some kind of a dark green like that. And you can see the opacity slider is way up toward the right. I like kind of backing that down so that it's a little paler, a little bit more see-through at that point. Something like that's pretty good. I mean, but you can see that you can take that way up to very, very solid dark if you like that, or bring it way down so it's almost no color in it at all. So somewhere in there is something I kind of like at that point. So that looks pretty good. I'll accept that. And then it wants me to use the circle tool. I'm going to be drawing a circle at 2, 2 with a radius of 1 inch. So if I go to 2, 2, locate the center of my circle, then what I do is I kind of try to drag that out here, and if I can get my grid where it can actually show that 3 in there, you see I'm pulling along the x-axis here from 2 over to 3 to give me a radius of 1, and that creates a circle that I need right there, so I can tell it that that's okay, and that's in place. So this is actually the basic drawing that we are asked to create with the 2D drawing tools in GeoGebra, and we can save that into our desktop folder at this point, and that is the task that we've been given to learn some of the basic tools here. I hope this helps. Don't be surprised if sometimes you have to try some of these processes a couple of times. GeoGebra can be a little bit funny if you don't click exactly where it likes you to, or something of that nature. You may have to back up and try it again. In some of the places where it looks like I was moving really slow, that's what I was trying to do there, because GeoGebra wasn't quite cooperating as well as I'd like it to. So I hope you have good luck with it, and as always, use your resources available to you, your notes, your videos, help menus, and if you need anything from me, please let me know in class. Thank you a lot.